Have you ever wished you could make your dreams come true just by thinking about them? Well, there's an amazing idea that says you can do just that. It's called the law of assumption, and it was taught by a smart guy named Neville Goddard. This idea is so powerful that it can change your whole life. Why? Because it's all about how you see yourself deep down inside. Think about it. If you believe you're smart, lucky, and successful, don't you think that would change how things go for you? That's what the law of assumption is all about. It says that what you assume about yourself and the world around you becomes real. It's like having a superpower, but instead of flying or being invisible, your superpower is shaping your own life through your thoughts and feelings. But here's the thing. If you don't change how you think about yourself, nothing in your life will change. It's like trying to drive a car without turning on the engine. You can push all the pedals you want, but you won't go anywhere. That's why the law of assumption is so important. It teaches you how to turn on your inner engine and start moving towards the life you want. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds too good to be true. Or, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. But the law of assumption is different. It's not just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about really believing in yourself and your ability to create the life you want. And that can be scary because it means you have to look at yourself honestly. You have to face your doubts, your fears, and the negative things you might believe about yourself. But don't worry, that's what we're here to help with. Okay, so what exactly is this law of assumption? Let's break it down in simple terms. The law of assumption says that whatever you truly believe about yourself and the world will become your reality. It's like you're the director of your own life movie. The thoughts and feelings you have are like the script, and the world around you is the movie set that changes to match your script. Here's an example from everyday life to help you understand. Let's say you wake up one morning and assume it's going to be a bad day. You might think, I'm probably going to be late for work, my boss will be mad, and everything will go wrong. Now, because you're thinking this way, you might rush around, forget your keys, and end up actually being late. Your boss notices and gets upset. Then, because you're flustered, you make mistakes in your work. By the end of the day, you think, see, I knew it would be a bad day. But what really happened here? Did you predict the future, or did your assumption of a bad day actually create that bad day? The law of assumption says it's the second one. Your belief in a bad day made you act in ways that created that bad day. Now let's flip that around. Imagine waking up and assuming it's going to be a great day. You might think, I'm going to get to work on time, my boss will be pleased, and everything will go smoothly. With this mindset, you're more likely to be calm, remember everything you need, and get to work on time. Your boss notices your good mood and compliments you. You feel confident and do your work well. At the end of the day, you think, wow, what a great day. Can you see how powerful this is? The only thing that changed was your assumption. This is why Neville Goddard said that assumption hardens into fact. What you assume or deeply believe tends to come true in your life. But the law of assumption isn't just about day-to-day stuff. It can be used for big things too. Want a new job, a loving relationship, financial success? The law of assumption says that if you can truly believe these things are already yours, they will come into your life. Now, I know this might sound a bit out there. You might be thinking, come on, I can't just assume I'm a millionaire and suddenly money will appear in my bank account. And you're right. It's not quite that simple. But stick with me, because as we go deeper into how this law works, you'll start to see just how powerful it can be. Now that we know what the law of assumption is, let's dive into how it actually works. It's all about understanding two important things: how your thoughts create your reality and how the world mirrors your beliefs. First, let's talk about how your thoughts create your reality. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a good mood, good things seem to happen more often? And when you're feeling down, it seems like everything goes wrong? That's not just coincidence. The law of assumption says that's actually you creating your reality with your thoughts and feelings. Here's how it works. Your thoughts are like seeds. When you think something over and over, you're planting that seed in your mind. If you water it with your attention and your emotions, it grows. And eventually, it grows so big that it shows up in your real life. For example, if you keep thinking, "I'm not good at public speaking," you're planting a seed of fear and doubt. Every time you think about speaking in public, you water that seed with nervous feelings. Eventually, when you actually have to speak in public, you might stumble over your words or forget what you wanted to say. The thought has created the reality. But remember, this works for good thoughts too. If you keep thinking, "I'm getting better at public speaking every day," you're planting a seed of confidence. When you imagine yourself speaking well, you water that seed with feelings of pride and excitement. Then, when you actually speak in public, you're more likely to do well because you've created that reality in your mind first. Now let's talk about how the world mirrors your beliefs. This is a big part of how the law of assumption works. Neville Goddard taught that the outside world is like a mirror, reflecting back what's inside you. Your beliefs, your assumptions about yourself and the world are what get reflected back to you. Think of it like this. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror wearing a red shirt. The mirror will show you wearing a red shirt, right? It won't suddenly show you wearing a blue shirt. In the same way, the world around you reflects what's inside you, your beliefs and assumptions. If you believe deep down that people are generally kind and helpful, you're more likely to notice and attract kind, helpful people into your life. If you believe that money is hard to come by, you might find yourself always struggling financially. The world is reflecting your inner beliefs back to you. This is why changing your assumptions is so powerful. When you change what's inside, your beliefs and assumptions, the outside has to change too. It's like changing your shirt in front of that mirror. When you change, the reflection has to change too. Now you might be thinking, "But I don't always get what I want, even when I think positively." And that's a good point. The law of assumption isn't about surface-level positive thinking, it's about your deep, core beliefs. These are often beliefs we don't even realize we have. That's why really using the law of assumption often involves digging deep and examining what we truly believe about ourselves and the world. Understanding how the law of assumption works is the first step to using it in your life. It's about realizing the power of your thoughts and beliefs and understanding that what you see in the world is often a reflection of what's inside you. Once you get this, you can start to consciously change your assumptions and beliefs and watch as your reality starts to change too. Now that we understand how the law of assumption works, let's talk about the first key to making it work for you: changing your self-image. Your self-image is basically how you see yourself. It's the picture you have in your mind when you think about who you are. And according to the law of assumption, this picture is super important. Why does your self-image matter so much? Well, remember how we said the world is like a mirror? Your self-image is what that mirror is reflecting. If you see yourself as someone who's always struggling, guess what? The world will show you more struggles. But if you see yourself as someone who's successful and happy, the world will start to show you more success and happiness. Think about it like this. If you believed you were a great chef, how would you act? You'd probably cook with confidence, try new recipes, and not get too upset if something didn't turn out perfect. And because of that confidence, you'd probably become an even better chef over time. That's the power of self-image. So, how can you improve your self-image? Here are some simple tips. First, start paying attention to how you talk to yourself. We all have that little voice in our head, and sometimes it can be pretty mean. When you catch yourself thinking something negative like, "I'm so stupid," stop and change it to something kinder, like, "I'm learning and getting better every day." Next, try visualizing the person you want to be. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself as confident, successful, or whatever it is you want to be. Really try to feel what it would be like to be that person. Another great tip is to act as if. This means behaving like the person you want to be, even if you don't feel like it yet. If you want to be more confident, ask yourself, what would a confident person do in this situation, and then do that. Lastly, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you make your bed this morning? Great. Did you speak up in a meeting? Awesome. Recognizing your successes, big and small, helps build a positive self-image. Remember, changing your self-image doesn't happen overnight. It's like working out. You need to do it regularly to see results. But stick with it, and you'll start to see amazing changes in your life. Now let's move on to the second key in making the law of assumption work: understanding the importance of feeling. This is where a lot of people get tripped up when trying to use the law of assumption. They think it's all about thinking positive thoughts, but Neville Goddard taught that feeling is the secret. Why are feelings so crucial? Well, your feelings are like a magnet. They attract experiences that match them. It's not just about thinking "I am wealthy" over and over, it's about feeling how it would feel to be wealthy. That feeling is what draws the experience of wealth to you. Think of it like this. Have you ever been in a bad mood and then stubbed your toe, spilled your coffee, and got stuck in traffic all in the same day? That's because your bad mood was attracting more experiences to match it. But the good news is, it works the other way too. So how can you generate these positive feelings? Here are some tips. First, use your imagination. Close your eyes and really imagine what it would feel like to have what you want. If you want a new job, imagine how excited you'd feel on your first day. If you want a loving relationship, imagine how warm and happy you'd feel with your partner. Another great way to generate positive feelings is through gratitude. Take time each day to think about things you're thankful for. This puts you in a positive state and makes it easier to feel good about other things too. Music can also be a powerful tool. Create a playlist of songs that make you feel the way you want to feel, confident, happy, loved, or whatever it is you're aiming for. Remember, the goal isn't to fake these feelings. It's to genuinely feel them, even if just for a moment. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to generate these positive feelings at will. One important thing to note: this doesn't mean you should ignore negative feelings when they come up. It's okay to feel sad or angry sometimes. The key is not to dwell in those feelings. Acknowledge them, then gently guide yourself back to the feeling of what you want. Now we come to the third key, and this is a big one: living from the end. This is a concept that Neville Goddard talked about a lot, and it's super important for making the law of assumption work. So what does living from the end mean? It's about living as if your desire has already come true. It's not just thinking about what you want or even believing it will happen someday. It's about feeling and acting as if it's already happened. Think of it like this. Imagine you really want a promotion at work. Living from the end would mean feeling and acting as if you've already got that promotion. You'd feel the confidence of being in that new position. You'd carry yourself the way someone in that role would. You'd make decisions as if you already had that responsibility. Now, I know what you're thinking. but I don't have the promotion yet. Isn't that just pretending? And you're right. In a way, it is pretending. But remember, according to the law of assumption, what you assume to be true becomes true. So by living as if you already have what you want, you're sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind and to the universe that this is your reality. So how can you practice living from the end in your daily life? Here are some ideas. Start with your thoughts. When you think about your desire, think of it in the present tense. Instead of I will be successful, think I am successful. Next, watch your words. Talk as if your desire is already true. Instead of saying I hope to get that job, say I'm so grateful for my new job. Another powerful technique is to write about your desire as if it's already happened. Try writing a journal entry dated in the future, describing your life now that your desire has come true. You can also use physical actions. If you want to be a published author, set up a space in your home for book signings. If you want to travel more, start learning the language of a country you want to visit. Remember, the key is to make it feel as real as possible. Use all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel now that your desire has come true? Living from the end can feel strange at first. You might feel like you're lying to yourself, but stick with it. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel, and the more you'll start to see changes in your life. One important thing to remember, living from the end doesn't mean you don't take action in the real world. If you want that promotion, you still need to do good work and let your boss know you're interested. The difference is that you're doing these things from a place of confidence, knowing that the promotion is already yours. Now let's talk about something that trips up a lot of people when they're trying to use the law of assumption: doubts. It's totally normal to have doubts. After all, we're trying to change some pretty deep-seated beliefs here, but doubts can really get in the way of making the law of assumption work for you. So what are some common doubts people face? One big one is, this is too good to be true. Another is, I'm not special enough for this to work for me. Or maybe you think, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. These doubts are like little roadblocks on your path to creating the life you want. But here's the good news. There are simple ways to deal with these doubts. First, remember that doubts are just thoughts. They're not facts. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. When a doubt pops up, try to catch it. Say to yourself, oh, that's just a doubt. It's not the truth. Another great way to deal with doubts is to look for evidence that proves them wrong. Have you ever succeeded at anything before? That's proof that you can succeed. Have you ever seen anyone else use the law of assumption successfully? That's proof that it can work. Sometimes it can help to write your doubts down. Once they're on paper, they often seem less scary. You can even write a response to each doubt, like you're having a conversation with yourself. Remember, the goal isn't to never have doubts. That's probably impossible. The goal is to not let those doubts stop you from assuming the best for yourself. It's okay to have doubts, just don't let them be in charge. Now, I want to share a personal story about how the law of assumption made a difference in my life. A few years ago, I was really struggling with my confidence. I had a job I didn't like, and I was always doubting myself. I'd hear about things like the law of assumption, but I'd think, that won't work for me. But then I decided to give it a real try. I started imagining myself as a confident person who loved their job. At first it felt fake, but I kept at it. I'd wake up each morning and spend a few minutes just feeling what it would be like to be that confident, happy person. I also started acting as if. Even when I felt nervous, I'd ask myself, what would a confident person do? And then I'd do that. Sometimes it was as simple as standing up straighter or speaking a little louder. At first, nothing seemed to change, but I kept at it. And then, little by little, I started noticing differences. People at work started coming to me for advice. I found myself speaking up more in meetings. And one day, my boss called me into her office. I thought I was in trouble, but instead, she offered me a promotion. Now, was this all because of the law of assumption? I can't say for sure. But I do know that changing how I thought about myself changed how I acted, and that changed how others saw me. It was like a snowball effect. The best part? That confidence has stuck with me. Sure, I still have doubts sometimes, but now I know how to work with them, not against them. The law of assumption really did change my life. We've covered a lot in this video about Neville Goddard's law of assumption. We've talked about what it is, how it works, and the 4 key ways to make it work in your life. Changing your self-image, understanding the importance of feeling, living from the end, and overcoming doubts. Remember, the law of assumption isn't about magical thinking. It's about understanding the power of your own mind to shape your reality. It's about realizing that what you deeply believe about yourself and the world has a huge impact on what you experience. Using the law of assumption takes practice. You might not see results overnight, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep at it. Keep working on your self-image. Keep generating those positive feelings. Keep living as if your desires are already true. And when doubts come up, remember that they're just thoughts, not facts. I encourage you to try using the law of assumption in your own life. Start small if you need to. Maybe assume you'll have a good day tomorrow, or that you'll make a new friend this week. As you see it working in small ways, you can start applying it to bigger things. Remember, you have the power to shape your own life. Your assumptions about yourself and the world around you are incredibly powerful. So why not assume the best? Why not assume that you're capable, loved, and successful? Why not assume that good things are coming your way? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the law of assumption. I hope you found it helpful and inspiring. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And don't forget to share this video with anyone you think might benefit from learning about the law of assumption. In the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried using the law of assumption before? What was your experience? Or if this is new to you, what do you think about it? Let's start a conversation and learn from each other. Remember, your assumptions create your reality, so assume the best and watch as your life transforms. Until next time, take care and happy assuming.